Well, here we go. Good day, everybody. We're going to start with sharing the information about Garland, Maine, Penobscot County, the sheriff, and all of the wrongdoings since I purchased property in Garland, Maine. And now I'm going to start telling you the story of my land and proof that I've been harassed and requested but been denied information. Considering the fact that I purchased this land, I have the right to public records, and I also have the right to know who's harassing me. Laurie Keefe. Troy Morton, explain. And this is my dog, Gypsy. Gypsy was stolen October 4th, 2023, out of my home in Garland, Maine. I was at the courthouse filing against the sheriff, Dale Lancaster, as well as many others, friends of Senator Doug Thomas, and I had just had a verbal dispute with Doug Thomas' son, Derek. When I got back a few hours later, seemingly my dog was missing, and I was getting a lot of harassment from one of the workers that works for Doug Thomas. His name would be Mr. Hebert. Oh, well, can you tell? Can you tell us why? Why and how are you able to steal my dog and nobody know about it? Deputy Kennedy, you know, you haven't acted accordingly. You violated my rights, you violated my dog's rights, and you violated the mission statement for the Sheriff's Department, the county, and the state of Maine. Therefore, I am filing further civil matter. The same morning that I was filing against the sheriff in Somerset County, obviously somebody, and by the way, I know that the sheriff's deputy car for Somerset County is always out at Doug Thomas property, seemingly in Harmony. So, can you tell me how many of you boys think you're going to get away with? All of you think you're going to get away with the fact that you stole my dog, vandalized my property, and you've done a lot of harassment, tried to burn me out, vandalized my vehicles, my homes, burned me out? It's all coming to head real quick, isn't it, Christopher Ray? So here we go. Troy Morton. You see, Troy Morton, back in October of 2023, apparently around that time, had told Laura Ingraham from Fox 35 to shut up about the illegal Chinese grows throughout the state of Maine. And ever since then, there's been all kinds of marijuana busts. You see, Sheriff Dale Lancaster from Somerset County being friends with Troy Morton. Troy Morton's part of the FBI. And Sheriff Lancaster, well, you know, all these boys have their hands into all these different associations, all police are involved. That means perhaps they're narcissists and sociopaths. You can tell by looking at them. They got some kind of mental fucking issues, right? Well, I can tell you right now, they got to have some kind of mental issues to do the things that they do and get away with it and try to hide the crimes. Just because you wear a badge does not mean you can get away with murdering, killing, harassing, terrorizing, raping, beating, drugging, and burning people out of their homes. These are just some of the emails that were coming from what? People harassing and terrorizing. And guess what? I've got a lot more proof, fact, and evidence from these accounts that got deleted. How'd they get deleted? Troy Morton, Dale Lancaster. Can you answer that? I requested protection from the abuse of Dale Lancaster, the sheriff of Somerset County, way before, months before, the filings of wrongful death suits by other people. And previous to this, obvious harassment due to the fact that I had filed in 2021 protection and lawsuits. Isn't that right, Dale Lancaster in 2022? Well, 2 years after making a purchase agreement with my uncle on the house in North Anson and then get burned out, I had moved again and I was living in Strong and I got violated. I was abused. It was reported. And here's that information right there. Okay. And nothing became of that. Well, what did really become of it is they reversed the situation. And again, I was the one that received the restraining order. Okay, so I lost everything. Well, then I moved to Wilton. And again, I lost everything because I had filed paperwork and I said something about Kim Morrow's disappearance. I had gathered a lot of information, credible information from people that say they were involved. And then lo and behold, I filed something again with the Board of Overseers of the Bar Association in 2023, as well as about the judicial misconduct. I filed it in Augusta, Maine. I also spoke with Stephen Charles at length with Wilton, Maine PD, February 10th, 2023, in regards to drug trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, the abuse that I was enduring by my ex Daryl at 380 Depot Street, Wilton, Maine, and nothing became of it until March. March, I was abused again. Now, this was carried out from February, March, and the end of March, just the week before, I was faced with a notice to quit after I had redone the whole downstairs, cleaned it, tried to get rid of the rats that were in the walls and running at nighttime, all the trash, and the cocaine that was being harbored in the garage. As a result, I got kicked out with a notice to quit, and Miss Bryant, the sister-in-law, stating that she had, in front of the chief of police, mind you, had my mail held at the post office. Well, first of all, in order to get mail at that house, I had to have permission, and that permission was from my ex, Daryl. So, with that being said, that's illegal for Miss Bryant to have my mail held. So, Mr. Ethan Keyes said, well, Kim, go down to the post office, I suggest, early in the morning and get a P.O. box. Okay, why should I have to do that? You just admitted that, you're hearing it. It's all on your camera, right? So where's your video camera, body cam that I requested? Perry Ellsworth should have answered that question, but he didn't. So the following day, there was a uninhabitable notice placed on the wall, the door, mind you, the glass of the door. I wasn't able to do anything, get my other paid for vehicle, any of my belongings of any sort. I lost it all. Because Perry Ellsworth at the town office, obviously, I say it's because of him, withholding the information pertaining to the uninhabitable condition and the notice of notifications and all of my belongings and my request to get my stuff, my insurance didn't cover. And so, with that being said, there's a whole lot more to it. So, I end up going over to Oakland, Maine, where with whatever I gathered for belongings in between, I lost them too. Because why? Because why, Oakland PD? Why did Mr. Gervais get away with keeping all of my belongings and threatening to shoot me? I reported that to Oakland Police in Oakland, Maine. Nothing was happening about it, right, Town Manager Ella? Do you remember that? I remember it plain as day. So I go and I'm over and at this time, mind you, my daughter's fighting her way back to Maine because she had been abused. I go and I purchase a piece of property. Well, lo and behold, I didn't tell anybody where I was moving to. I was trying to get away from it all. Why would I tell anybody where I was going? People got nosy on me. Why? Because they were stalking me. Who did anything about it? Nobody. Why is that? Because they're all friends with the police and it's a proven fact. So, lo and behold, I go to my property and during the time that my daughter, I had no idea where she was. I had reported her missing. Everybody was laughing about me and at me. And I didn't know about it because I wasn't on social media. I was busy trying to find my daughter and work on the property to get it ready to build. Well, somebody couldn't understand how I could have purchased property. So there's this YouTube channel out there called How's This For News with a question mark. and they keep on defaming me. So nobody wants to hear anything about it. And this all goes back to the sex trafficking that I reported that happened back in 2007. I requested information because you see, my children were taken away from me illegally with a faxed warrant of abandonment. I didn't abandon my children. I proved my case. I still get a copy of it. But for some reason, all this information's been hidden. Just last night, there was an article put out. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus, for listening. Finally, a human traffic bust in Skowhegan, Maine. Yay! Glad I'm not there because I depleted myself from that a long time ago when Tommy died, and before he died and told me that when he dies, I can go home and do whatever I want to. Until then, I was stuck there with him. Well, let me tell you something. It's been 8 years that he died, and I've been telling it all. I've been abused. I came back from saving my daughter, rescuing my daughter from a bad situation in Maryland, and I got abused. I got beat up. I came back with a black eye and a swollen face. But you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to say I did what I knew to do, which was go save my daughter. And now it's all up to you people to pay attention to what I'm telling you. I filed against the people that have been harassing me, terrorizing, and targeting myself and my family. And as a result, I've been nothing but targeted and harassed some more. So, with that being said, I'm going to let you all listen to the recording of me asking for my records. I want public records. I want all the dates and names of the deputies and everybody involved since the time I bought my property in Penobscot County. And the sergeant tells me today, after I requested records last week and the young lady told me that she'd get them to me, the sergeant tells me he has to see me in person. No, you don't. It's a public request. So I'm going to ask all of you listening to this to request from Penobscot County any calls that they received. Penobscot County, Maine. And you tell me afterwards if they honor your request for records. Ask them for the records from May 2023 to this given date of August 2024. Ask them. Ask them about all the times, dates, and who was involved. Ask them who the callers were, please, would you? And now I'll let you listen to what the sergeant had to say. Remind you, all of this started after I filed request for protection against the sheriffs and all of their friends that have been harassing, targeting, and trafficking me and my family. Yes, is this line recorded? Okay, mine is as well then. Could I speak with the records department, please? I'm calling in regards to my records request. I made it last week, last Friday, I believe, by email, request for information pertaining to all the calls, all the correspondence to my property. And I wanted the names of the deputies, the dates, the times, and the ID numbers. I've not received them yet. I also had a complaint about the two deputies that showed up at my house, Maduros and another one, claiming that I was home. I wasn't home. And they were climbing the ladder. One of the deputies is seen on camera before he knocked the camera off. It came through on my cell phone. He was climbing up the ladder and looking in the bedroom window of my camper. My name is Kimberly. Yes, is this line recorded? Hi, Sergeant. This is Kimberly calling, and I had requested records. I emailed and requested records after speaking at length with the records girl last week. I've not received anything, and I've not received a call back in regards to Mr. Kennedy on October 6th. Got a report from Sheriff Morton that I reported on October 4th, as well as to Christopher Ray on October 4th. He never showed up at my house until October 6th and still hasn't returned my stolen service dog. And I'd like to know an update, a status on that, and I
Right.
request
So,
all my
so we
records.
have all those reports, but we just can't email them. We have to meet up in person to
No,
hand them
you
over.
don't. No, you don't.
Yep.
No, you don't.
Yep.
And here's the thing, you're on audio record just as I am, and you're being shared with Congress and Senator Kennedy. So, with that
Okay,
being
that's
said,
fine.
you have a great
This
day.
is recorded on this
That's right. And that
this
one
side
thing
as
doesn't
well.
have to do with the other,
No.
so you can go fuck
Okay.
yourself. Goodbye.
Okay.
Now, that was the sergeant telling me that he has to meet me in person to fulfill the request for public records. No, you don't. It's a right to know. So he right there has violated my rights, my constitutional rights, and all of. With that being said, that's Penobscot County Sheriff's Department, seen by Sheriff Troy Morton. Look up the information and you will find out that Troy Morton is part of an FBI and he's part of all these different associations, and you'll see that all of his friends seem to be just like him. They're definitely not like you and me. They don't want to seek justice. They want to destroy justice. That's obvious to me anyway. So with that being said, again, I'm asking you all to reach out and find out what, who, when, where, and why. When are they going to return my service dog? Why are they trying to tell me that they have to meet me in person to give me the request for public records? So I ask and request that you all, again, call there and find out if you can get the public records request for all calls from May of 2023 till this given ending day of August 2024. You find out how many times, who called, when they called, why did they call 400 Oliver Hill Road, Garland, Maine, and what are they doing? Why haven't they checked the suspects? Why haven't they gone to Doug Thomas or his son Derek's house? Or the home, former home of Marty across from the town line road, the town line road of Dexter, Garland. Thank you and have a great day.